A few weeks ago, I dropped a video on my first time playing GTA 3, and in my opinion, it is a very underrated game in the franchise. You can watch the video if you want to, I'll post a link to it somewhere. Well, today, I'm continuing my playthrough of the GTA games in the series with Vice City. Though, this wouldn't be my first time playing Vice City ever. I remember playing it over a decade ago. This was the first GTA game I actually owned, and I have no idea how I convinced my mom to actually get me the game. Like any child, I had little to no idea what I was doing in the game, but I was doing stuff. So replaying it in 2026, after more than a decade, felt less like revisiting a game and more like revisiting a memory. Booting up GTA Vice City instantly made me think about how games have come a long way from when I was younger. While the industry has spent the last few decades perfecting photorealism in games, returning to play as Tommy in the neon-lit city of Vice City was very nostalgic. I was reminded that Vice City doesn't ease you into the game. I was instantly put into a cutscene, not knowing what was going on, and then poof, I'm at Ocean View, controlling Tommy, and I was just told to do stuff. So I went and did stuff. Vice City is one of the most iconic open worlds in gaming, heavily influenced by Miami Vice, Scarface, and Carlito's Way. Rockstar perfectly captured the artistic architecture of Miami's real-life Ocean Drive. By day, the eastern island is washed in soft, optimistic pastels, pinks, baby blues, and seafoam greens. The swaying palm trees, the pristine sand, and the opulent hotels created a deceptive veneer of a carefree paradise, which sharply contrasted with the criminal underworld operating in the alleys behind them. Vice City defined what an atmosphere in gaming could be by making every element of the world serve the aesthetic so perfectly that for an entire generation of gamers, myself included, thought that the fictional city represents how 1980s Miami actually looked. After GTA 3, Rockstar decided to have a main character be voiced, and I would say this was a great change for the franchise as a whole. It also helped that Tommy was a great character. He wasn't just a vehicle for the player to cause chaos. He was a fully realized person whose ambition matched the excess of the 1980s setting, making his story stand out as one of the best in gaming. Voiced brilliantly by the late Ray Liotta, he gave Tommy a cinematic presence, grounding the wild world of Vice City with a gritty, authentic mobster performance. Tommy argued, threatened, joked, and reacted to the absurdity around him. This leap in character engagement transformed the game from a series of disconnected missions into a character-driven experience. What makes Tommy stand out was his complete lack of passivity. He isn't an errand boy reluctantly roped into a life of crime. He is a get-it-done kind of guy. He was sent down from Liberty City to oversee a deal, ends up getting ambushed, and loses both the supplies and the millions of dollars belonging to his boss. But instead of running, as most people would do, me included, Tommy decided to stay and rectify the problem. Or it could just be that he couldn't outrun the problem. So Tommy starts his journey from a guy stranded in a hotel room in a Hawaiian shirt, from working for different gangs and people, buying up properties, and building his own criminal empire piece by piece. And by the end of the game, Tommy isn't taking orders from anyone. He is the boss, which is somewhat similar to GTA 3 if you look at it from the surface. But what makes Vice City different from GTA 3 was the different things they added to the game, from flying a RC plane to waging war from the skies. And the supporting cast didn't disappoint. Lance Vance is my favorite character in the game, as a smooth-talking, white-suited pilot who initially teams up with Tommy to find out who ruined their deal. which also caused Lance to lose his brother. For most of the game, they were partners, but Lance's growing insecurity, incompetence, and jealousy over Tommy's success led to his betrayal. This made Lance one of my favorite supporting casts in the game, because it wasn't a linear we became friends and nothing will change that. It was a natural and real progression of human emotion that reflected greed and jealousy. As you play through the game, you could see how Lance started tweaking out of his mind. Even when Tommy tried to convince him that they are partners in this together, Lance didn't believe in it, leading to the Lance Vance Dance storyline that come to a bitter end when he sells Tommy out to Sony Forelli. Ultimately, Tommy stands out because he owns his narrative. In a franchise famous for satire and chaos, Tommy remains a representative of a ruthless anti-hero who walked into Vice City with nothing and took it all. So gameplay-wise, there are a lot of things that hold up to this day, like the immersion of the world, the pacing of the story, the fun missions like flying the RC helicopter, and even annoying missions like stealing the tank from an army. But there's also some things I hate to my core, like the fact that you needed to buy specific properties to unlock the final mission, and the game somehow managed to leave out this information, so you had to figure it out, or I guess in my case Google. And then the combat. Sadly, it wasn't any better than GTA 3, so that was a miserable experience. Moving on from the silent protagonist like Claude in GTA 3 to a voiced lead like Tommy in Vice City transformed the GTA series from a sandbox playground filled with chaos and shooting into a character-driven story game. Claude was like a blank sheet of paper. He lacked personality, which led to having missions where players felt like Claude did exactly what he was told by whoever gave the order. But with Tommy, on the other hand, the missions felt personality-driven. Because Tommy had a defined ego, he had motivation, and he had a history, which led to missions that showcased his personality and purpose. In my opinion, after GTA 3, Rockstar realized that they wanted to evolve, and to do that, they needed to tell larger, more complex stories, and with a protagonist who could anchor the player's experience. Tommy proved that the player would be far more engaged if they were playing as a person with an identity. This effectively laid the blueprint for the narrative design of every Grand Theft Auto title going forward. GTA Vice City holds a special place in my heart, and it is one of the most iconic settings to me of all the GTA games. Replaying Vice City reminded me why Rockstar games feel so special. They weren't just massive open worlds, they had identity, style, and personality. Even after all these years, there's still nothing quite like Vice City thematically. Since then, games have become bigger, but Vice City is one of those games in the category that proves bigger doesn't always mean more memorable. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And please be sure to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.